All right, welcome to the Shock Drop Podcast. I'm Chris, your host, and I'm joined with my co-host Kyle and Azeem. In this week's episode, we have a lot of exciting topics to cover. We'll be discussing the recent release of the Kobe 4s and the anticipated Supreme and Coogi collaboration later this week, and maybe a shock drop also later this week. And then that's not all. We'll also be diving into some new news on Kanye and Adidas, some interesting post-split actions, I guess, that's going on with them, as well as some updates on the ZadehKicks liquidation and some interesting ripples in the market that's causing now. We also have some updates on the ongoing StockX and Nike lawsuit and some interesting discussions on what could happen to the market if StockX is to put out some of the information that they're being asked to put out. So whether you're a sneaker enthusiast or just curious about the latest trends in the industry, we've got you covered with our in-depth analysis and discussion. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts to stay up to date with our latest episode. So let's get started. So I guess one of the things that we were talking about earlier today, was this Kobe drop, and I don't think anybody was generally super hyped about the GG colorway versus the original Sweet 16.
Mhm.
But it definitely felt like nobody had a chance today.
Nope. I barely saw any W's from people. It was just
Yeah,
barren
definitely.
today across the board.
Yeah,
It's kind of
it was,
depressing because I liked a lot of the Kobe releases they did after his death, and I kind of wish they did more of them.
Mhm.
and it was kind of surprising that they only did a couple passes too. I thought they'd do more locations, or at least if they were trying to avoid having the raffles or bots or having online so much competition, right? You just force people to go in store and do raffles or something, but they did nothing.
Yeah.
Well,
It was
Undefeated and Shoe Palace did raffles, I think, only at their LA locations, which was
that
interesting to
was
me.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
Again, both LA centric.
yeah, I get that one. Kind of. But at the same time, it completely goes against, the whole Kobe's for everybody,
Right.
right?
yeah. I mean, have we seen any of the Kobe Adidas come back? Because wasn't there some mention of that?
They did. They had a
Oh, the
couple, I
crazy
think one that
ones.
released they had one that released like a week or two ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but people just don't care about them.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
look like giant Star Wars ships on your feet. Like it doesn't look good.
Mm.
And the reality is, right, if Vanessa's working with both companies and they're both going to release, it's pretty clear which one
Yeah,
people want, I think.
yeah. The Nike ones are more iconic, right?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I
Yeah,
wish
and
we'd see more come out again.
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be interesting if you know, it'd be a good thing, I guess, on their PR department. I guess they wanted people to wear the shoes so bad. They should
Mhm.
try to reach out to people that post, playing ball and stuff, wearing it, and try
Yeah.
to offer them the next shoe in advance.
Yeah. That'd be
I think,
cool.
yeah, I think that's a good way to try to encourage people to wear it, right? Other than, trying to do these quizzes and bingos and stuff like that. What else? Other drops we got coming this week to also tomorrow. The Grey Gum SB's restock.
Ooh.
I don't really think this is supposed to keep restocking like the black and white ones, but um, is this the one? Are you guys towing or just passing on?
Just passing.
Just
I'm
passing?
passing. This is a very good shoe, but it's just like there's so many dunks out right now that I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not like the one for me.
If
I'm
it
not
gets
really a
below retail, maybe.
yeah yeah. Good luck with an SB.
Hey,
At least
exactly.
one of these SBs, yeah. Some of
Just
the
put
other
it
ones,
out there. If it
no.
gets below retail, maybe.
I like the shoe. It's super clean. I just don't wear a lot of like gray like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, I think it's one of the best like clean SBs that you can get. I do like the
100%.
Utos a little bit more just because they got a little bit more color in it.
Oh, yeah.
But this one's still a really, really good colorway. What else we got this week? Oh, Supreme and Coogi.
Free.
So like, I guess before we get into the prices, what did you guys think about them?
I think it
The
was a pretty good
sweaters,
collab. I like
everything.
the jacket. I like the jeans.
From what
I
I
kind of wish there was
remember.
like a
Oh, go ahead.
You don't like the shorts or the do rag?
no, not particularly.
Yeah.
I wish they did like a regular like Coogi sweater though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking that was missing. At least from what I remember, like back in the day when I saw like people in my school wearing Coogi, I was just like, oh, very colorful. But yeah, I feel like they could have at least done one in that kind of style.
If they had made the 3 tanks just into like a thin sweater, I think that would have been better.
A
Yeah,
thin
honestly.
sweater. Oh, okay. Like you mean take that design and make it into a sweater.
Yeah, maybe remove the ARC logo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that that would have been, just what it needed. And I like I like the top one, but like I think that that's a little too heavy. I would have preferred
Hmm.
maybe something a little bit lighter than that. I definitely don't like the tank tops. I feel like that was so out of place.
Yeah.
Um,
I
but
mean, do you think this is kind of like Tremaine's fault, or like Coogee was kind of limiting like how they could collab
oh,
with them?
that's a good question. I I don't think I know Kuji enough to like I guess know like if this is their typical. This doesn't seem like a Kuji type of I guess item array.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I kind of feel like it's Tremaine kind of like being like, I want to be different with his like collab, which is kind of adding
Interesting.
to his controversy as
Yeah.
Hmm.
the Supreme Creative Director.
I do like this whole S design thing. I do really like this.
The
Hmm.
Um
shirt was pretty cool, yeah.
yeah, I wish there was a little bit more on the front of the jeans though.
Yeah, like just something
Um
running down the pant leg.
yeah, or like have like the S thing on the front and then have the back like that back pocket just be like one
Yeah.
embroidery like that.
I mean, like, it's kind of cool for like a subtle kind of piece because like the pocket, one of the pockets has like a little like design on the inside, but it's
Yep.
for the price point, it's like
Yeah, but
I
see, my
kind of
worry is for 250, I sit on the floor with jeans or like wherever I may go. So like for me, I don't want to sit on the nice part of the design if I'm paying
Right.
250 for it.
You know what you should do? Wear it backwards.
Yeah. I think the t-shirt is also oh here, yeah, so let's go into the prices. So the t-shirt is 130. The big sweater is 570. The
The tanks
shorts
are
are
230.
yeah, 230, 170 for the shorts,
My goodness.
250 for the jeans. Yeah, it's I mean, I feel like this was probably up the line with Kuji prices, but
Yeah.
yeah.
um I'm not really liking any of the designs to really get that kind of price range.
Yeah. Same. Well, granted, I don't know if I would have worn any of it anyways.
I
You're
yeah,
not a big
don't
Coogee guy.
No.
no, not even in the fall.
No.
No, I
Not
would have
not
I could have worn one in the fall maybe.
yeah. I don't know. It's just it's not my vibe. But I can appreciate the colors.
I wish the t-shirt wasn't 100 and like $50 after online fees and
Yeah, that's
stuff,
disappointing.
Mm.
Even like the
but
expensive Supreme t-shirts are like 75, and that's
Yeah.
yeah,
like
it's like 70
crazy.
bucks. Yeah,
And
that's
this is
already
like almost
nuts.
double that.
It looks like it I wonder if it's a different blank and it's, like, bigger or something, but at least those normal $70 ones, they're, like, thicker T-shirts, so they're usually
Mm.
kinda heavyweight. Alright, other upcoming drop that we got. This one was, I don't know, Azeem, are you excited for these? The elephant print ones? The first Jordan
Uh,
1 to release at $130 on StockX a week before it actually comes out.
I mean, I think they're like a little too much elephant print, but it was like I kind of want a Jordan 1 with the elephant print on it for like a personal.
Has
If
there
they
been
had
another one? This is the
no.
I don't
first,
think
right?
This
so.
is the
That's the
first one.
thing.
I think if they had done this as like a black toe, I think they could have done this way better.
100%. That would have been so much better.
That would have been
Oh.
so solid. Like do it as a black toe and then maybe just do like a dull gray
Mhm.
or a dark gray on the eyelets or something, and then just do those the back, heel and wings in the elephant print. I think that would have done really well. Or
Hey, Chris,
reverse it, right, and just do the toe box.
would you
Yeah,
like
if they
to
dropped
work for
those,
Nike?
Yeah. No, I think their designers are pretty busy finding their designs on Twitter right now.
jeez. They should have dropped those, and if they were 130, I would have copped immediately on StockX.
Yeah, the problem is it's not 130 though, it's 180. Would you still cop it?
Yeah. I mean, like
Like,
if it was a black toe, yeah. These
yeah,
ones, no.
Yeah.
no,
It's a
this is just
little
too much.
much. Yeah.
Yeah,
If
I
they
think
get to 100 on StockX, I might cop.
they could.
Yeah,
Um,
honestly, after the US release, like when everyone has them in hand, they might.
yeah. I was saying that like I think after that that Atmos elephant print SB like a couple years ago,
it wasn't even an Atmos. It was just that the
it was
elephant with
just
the teal swoosh, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I hit that on CCS.
Yeah, so after that pair that I got in, my elephant print was so messed up by the toe box. I like kind of swore off elephant print. So it's just
Really?
like, yeah. I mean, just because it was just like, it looked like a huge, like, dark splotch at that point because it was just like
Oh
overlaid
no.
on top of each other almost. Um, that I was just like, I don't know, like, elephant print just feels like such a
A
hard design
gamble.
to, yeah, a gamble. Like, well, I mean, like what we saw from,
It's a
what was
gamble
it,
with
the
Nike's QC.
yeah, the white cements, right? Like you
Yeah,
could what if we get like one whole shoe that's like a thin elephant print and the other shoes like really thick ones, right?
man, that's not even that bad. So some people had the toe box, the heels of both pairs all different.
Right. Hey, mix and
Yeah.
match.
You basically had to cut each shoe in half and swap at SneakerCon in the trading pit with somebody.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was ridiculous. And
Yeah.
it's kind of sad. Like, and that's one of those shoes where, like, I think, like, the quality really matters because, like, if you
Right.
mess up the print, I mean, you ruin the design.
Yeah,
So, like,
especially
you
because
know,
Yeah,
that's what's
exactly.
riding on it, right?
yeah. And it's like when you're going to make something like this, the huge staple of the design, right? Like, if you're not going to fix those kind of things to it and you're just going to rush it out like that, like, are you surprised that people don't really like it?
Right, exactly.
Even though it sold out and we still bought all the white cement threes, but
Exactly.
this one's different though. This one's different though.
This what well yeah, the white cement threes didn't release on StockX for under retail.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And I honestly, I think one of the theories that I saw somebody on Twitter say, I think it was one of the private selection guys.
hmm
He said like stores are the ones that are selling it because they're
Oh
selling
yeah,
it
yeah,
at
yeah.
wholesale price to
Right.
StockX
Yeah.
because they can make their money back, and then like they know nobody's gonna buy it at release day anyways.
Yep.
So why does it matter?
Yep. The
Yeah,
unfortunate truth about that.
it would make sense. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, if you got a store to keep up, you know.
Exactly.
Do what you gotta do.
And I guess speaking of do what you got to do, Nike's always been trying to figure out how to cut their people out. And we talked about for a while, I think, that Nike was always going to try to cut the small shops out. And then,
Mhm.
like, that's why I made fun of the lost and founds, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, they want to cut the small retail shops out and then they wanted to go big on their own stuff. And then we all saw that all their stuff is sitting on sneakers
Mhm.
and it wasn't selling. Unlike how Foot Locker and stuff, you get that kind of crowd in that can sell it. And now it seems like Nike's just putting everything up early, dropping everything on sneakers kind of early, and then having real releases like 3 weeks later or something like that. And it
Yeah.
pretty much does sell out. I think every shock drop. Is there any shock drop that hasn't sold out?
Shock drop that
Maybe
has
like
not
for
sold
was it like a
out.
12 or something that Jordan 12 that like dropped and it didn't sell out?
Is that
I
the
think the playoffs
taxi?
did.
Yeah. I think
Oh,
every
tax
shock
one.
drop
Even the
has
DJ
sold
Khaled
out.
sold out.
Yeah, because I think
Yeah.
they just pull stock.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's why.
Yeah, they just
Yeah,
pull it
like
after
after
a
a while they
while.
and
just
then they just put it on the back on the final day.
Yeah, that's what I would assume. Because then
yeah.
sometimes those pairs, once they get to actual release, they're still sitting there after like 10 a.m.
Yeah, that would make
Yeah,
sense.
but it like still creates like demand and like attention for the shoe. You're just like, "Oh crap, I missed it. I have to go
Right.
for the actual
Yeah,
release."
you
Exactly.
just have some people next to you or in your area that might get them. You see them on
hmm
foot or something.
Yep.
Yeah,
Artificial
it's definitely
scarcity.
or at least
I
getting
mean,
people to
yeah.
see it, I guess, like, they've been
Yeah.
pumping pictures and promos, right? It always tends to do it.
Yeah, and also seeing it in person versus seeing it on a screen is very different.
They
I think it
like
makes
seeing the
the release
union.
date.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think it makes the release date a little bit less interesting though, because you're just like, oh, well, these already have like kind of released 2 times through Shock Drop and like exclusive access.
Right.
Yeah, it makes you even more mad if you miss it that third time. It really
Hey,
does.
you know what's worse? When you miss it the fourth time when they do the
Jordan
restock
Jordan
Reserve.
reserve.
returns. Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. And I guess speaking of, there might be a drop tomorrow. That's a shock drop on the sneakers app, and this is definitely one that I'm hopefully gonna go and get personal for. Otherwise, I'm gonna be quite upset if I miss it and then have to wait until the release day. But it looks like the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. That's not what it's called. It's called the Next Chapters. It looks
Mm.
like they've loaded up on sneakers, and if they drop tomorrow, I guess. Are you guys going for them?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
go for him.
I mean, I'm probably not. This is probably not a pair that I need to have personal.
Well, you also just got your lost and founds, right? I feel like for
Exactly.
you, that's what you wanted.
Yeah, and I'm not as attached to the Spider-Man movie as you probably are.
Yeah. Azim, did you get lost and founds in your size?
Yeah, I did. I got on the initial release. I think I'm gonna
Would you
keep
take
these and sorry,
are
what?
you keeping the lost and founds or keeping the Spider-Man
I think I'm gonna keep this Spider-Man's
or
like
both?
in my closet for a while and like
Oh,
contemplate
okay.
if like how much do I want to wear this versus like
Yeah.
just get the money back.
Are you gonna wait and see the movie? If you don't like it, sell them.
Yeah, it depends on how much I like the movie.
That's kind of what I thought about. I was like, I could get them and I could wear them for the movie, or I could wait and if the movie sucks, then I could get rid of them still. But
You're not
Yeah.
I
wearing it
bought the
to the
Gore-Tex,
premiere?
huh?
You're
Yeah, I'll
not
go for the premiere. Yeah, of course. No,
No, no, no,
we
I'm
have
saying, are you
A-list.
wearing these as like your premiere fit?
Oh, of course. Yeah, even if it's like 90 degrees out, I'll wear that Gore-Tex jacket that has all the dots and stuff on it.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yeah, it gets
Well,
cold
I
in the
still
theater.
yeah, I still like the original Spider-Man ones more, but
yeah.
Yeah,
these
the
are pretty
original
cool
origin
still.
stories. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think those just overall are better just because they don't have the mismatch.
Mhm.
I mean, I kind of like the mismatch for it goes with the pattern. The only thing I just don't like about it is patent leather. I just don't like
Yep.
patent
Really.
leather on a Jordan I want to wear. I feel like it creases kind of nasty.
Yeah, but at least
Um,
that's not like the shiny one.
yeah, and
Like,
it's not like anywhere that's gonna bend bad. I think it's
it's
mostly
not
the
Yeah,
collar.
it's not like a huge, like, proponent of, like,
Yeah, of the
exactly.
shoe.
repair. Mhm.
And if you don't like the like mismatch, you can just wear like baggy jeans and like cover
Right.
the
Cover
top
it up.
part.
That's
Yeah.
true.
What
Yeah,
one thing that Kyle said earlier too is like this one versus like this picture right here, the close up on the heel versus like the pictures that we saw in the leaks.
the
Like the
initial one.
dots just look so much better.
Mhm.
Like it just looked like some kid. I hate to say that, but it was like some kid was poking the dots on the shoe.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Um,
Yeah, this one
and
looks pretty good.
that's so bad. Nike just went back and was like, somebody wasn't coloring in the lines, and
Fix this.
yeah,
I
I,
do wanna just see how they are in hand, though. I'm curious
yeah.
about, like, how the materials all feel.
I mean, it
And
looks pretty cool, and the
Yeah.
different materials looks like it'll be fun to like hold in hand, just like play with the different materials.
Yeah.
it doesn't look like it's anything, at least like the toe box, it doesn't look like it's anything fantastic. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it just looks
Yeah,
regular.
but I think it's like
This
oh, it has
patent part
suede,
looks like
then it
the
has
same
patent
part as the top
leather, so it's
3.
kind of like
Yeah. Is that
It's just
even
like
big suede though?
no, it's just like a one section of suede, which is kind of funny.
yeah.
It's like
It's
yeah,
just, like,
couple.
trying to see, like, how all of it, like, fits together. Like I said, like, seeing
Yeah.
it in person versus seeing it on a screen, very different.
It's yeah. And we still have I don't think anybody has seen the box.
Are we
Nobody has
expecting a
posted a
special
box.
box?
I asked one of the early guys that, and nobody will answer me about it. So I don't know if anybody
Oh,
actually has seen anything about it because no one knows.
interesting.
Maybe they're just all gatekeeping, but
Yeah.
I can't actually find anybody that will actually confirm it.
That would be
I
cool
haven't
if
been able to find anything. Yeah,
it'd be
the
cool
last
if
one
it, like,
obviously
kinda
had the premiere one, but that was
right,
it.
yeah. Well, I'm saying, like, since we saw what they did for the Skyline Jordan ones,
Yeah,
if
do
they
something like
tied
Yeah,
that.
in this one with, like, the movie somehow, some way. Like there's like Easter eggs, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, because
It
every
has
like
like
Jordan 1
spider webs
or
on
like
it.
most Jordan 1s have had a special box, so I'm like, what are they gonna do for this one?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and at least if you're
Honestly,
gonna charge us $200 for it, you might as
exactly.
well
That's what
give
I
us a
was
better
gonna say.
box.
Well, because
Do you
remember
Like,
know
they
if
come
it's gonna
charged
come with
on.
like any accessories?
Ooh,
Um,
I didn't
no,
think
I
about
don't even
that.
think it comes with alternate laces.
What, really?
Tragedy.
We didn't get any pictures of alternate laces, not in the official images.
They show that in the official images?
Yeah, because if you go to the
Usually.
Haritos one, you can
Oh,
see that it's got the extra laces in there.
that's true.
There's an
Okay.
orange or green, and then like some green rope one.
Hmm. Well, that's disappointing.
Yeah, no, severely. I think the first one came with some extra laces, and that was on the retail one.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. I keep the red ones in with the blue tips on mine.
Yeah, for $200
Um,
and no accessories or extra laces, it's kind of disappointing.
yeah, no
Are
extra
you
laces and possibly no different box. Yeah,
Exactly.
please don't
that'll
say
be
that.
double disappointing.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah,
so sad.
I think
but
they'll do a box though. But I
I
have no
think
idea
so.
like how no one's found it though.
Yeah.
well, yeah, that's the bigger problem. I'm like, okay, so if the official images, if nobody's got it yet, that means that when it loads on the front end tomorrow, no one. I mean, it won't be there. Like, it won't have a picture of it there either. So no one will actually know
Until they get them
uh,
in hand.
until they get them in hand, which might be
Dang.
me because I get it in 2 days.
Yeah. Well,
So or me or Kyle, because Kyle and I also, I think you get it also
yeah.
in 2 days, don't
We
you?
get yeah, we get them in the same.
Yeah.
Well, I got my
And
Travis's before you, so
yeah, it was that. Yeah, it was my wife's fault.
Nike always takes forever to ship to me, and then their shipping is still like 4 or 5 days, and I'm just like, come on, please give me a break.
yeah.
They're taking quite a while sometimes for like processing, and
I don't
like
understand
that's
Yeah,
when
why.
mine gets
definitely.
stuck.
They've been really slow.
Maybe they're just writing down everybody's addresses to check twice,
They have someone
making
manually
sure
checking all the addresses.
I would
there's
hate
just
that job. Would
one guy
hate
running
that.
between an entire warehouse or something. That'd be
Oh
so
my
funny.
goodness. What if it's
All
the
right.
box is just like all the circles, all the dots?
That'd be all right, but I think it'd be kind of like boring. I kind of wanted something like different to
Yeah.
play with the concept of the movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the dots are from the movie.
If it's like
Yeah,
a dot pattern, I guess like kind of like the Supreme jacket is, right?
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like just dots to make up something like that. I would be down with that. I think that would be super cool. I'm not expecting even like a full box, just the lid,
Oh, yeah.
right? Like that'd be good enough,
Oh, what
honestly,
if
for
the
me for
dots
this.
spell Jordan and like the do the swoosh and all that?
I kind of
Doing the
want to see how
swoosh
they
would
do
be
the
cool. I
swoosh.
don't know if it would do Jordan though.
Or
Yeah.
sorry, what did it say? Nike. My bad.
Oh, Nike. Yeah, that could be it. Oh, Nike with the swoosh, right?
Yeah,
You mean
yeah,
like
yeah.
on top
The
of the
normal.
box?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, that would be cool.
We'll come back.
Definitely would be a
We'll come
good
back to
box that you could
this.
actually display. Yeah, we'll see in 24 hours.
Yep.
All right, what
48
else we got?
at least.
48, yeah, or a week, depending on how long it takes.
Azim will be a
Um,
week.
Yeah.
Azim will be next month when they actually release. I think a couple more pictures came out now of this is post Fear of God show. Um, and one of the things that Azim had said earlier before we'd started was, it's kind of weird to tell the difference between where Fear of God ends and the
Mhm.
Adidas Fear of God begins.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, is there anything that you, I guess, stand out, Azim, in terms of like differences? All the
I
footwear
guess
kind
you
of
can,
looks so similar.
yeah, like the sneakers you can kind of assume are like Adidas. The slides are already Fear God mainline.
Oh, these ones,
Yeah,
the
they've already released in different
yeah.
colorways, so you already know it's Fear God for
Mhm.
themselves. The heel's probably not Adidas.
Probably not.
How do you feel about these like stock kind of like shoe? They're like high tops.
The ones that have the lace?
Like this green one and stuff. Yeah. It kind of
Yeah,
seems like a Balenciaga.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Speed
Yeah.
Runner.
But with like
Yeah.
a
That's what I
sneaker
get.
bottom, like a more thicker bottom.
Yeah,
I was thinking like Balenciaga with the Fear of God, the Nike one with the sole of that. It's kind of like a mishmash of the two.
except
Yeah,
with
I think
like
it'll be
zero
interesting to
laces.
see.
Yeah, with
That's so
zero
weird.
laces.
Everyone keeps saying that it's like, oh, this is like a Yeezy knockoff.
My
Oh,
concern with that shoe would be like, how do you support your foot in that? Like, if you slip, your foot is gonna like you're gonna break an ankle. I mean,
simply
you literally
don't
have no
slip.
support. Yeah, you have no support in that shoe.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like
I mean,
how those like really thigh high boots are.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think this like the gray with like the black
Oh, you're
thing on the
supposed to
back is
tie it
kind of
around.
yeah.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. All right. Okay, that makes more sense.
I mean, this is kind of going into another topic with the Yeezy Season 10, like the sock shoe leaked.
Oh, that's funny. That's what we got next. So
Exactly. Great
yeah,
Ew.
tie-ins.
yeah, and yeah, and his boot thing that he's got was a lot like the scuba boot
Yeah.
that was kind of leaked a while back. Was it like Coachella? I think. Where he had that, but none of those ever came out. Like they just kind of stayed, I think, as like one off or two off samples. Um, but yeah, Kanye had his casting thing a couple days ago, and
Mm-hmm.
people showed out for the Yeezy season 10. Um, some people were speculating it was because he got inspired by that Fog Adidas show. Um, I don't know. Do you think he can? Think he could do anything? Pull it off? Or
I
do you
mean,
think he's
like,
kind
I'm sure
of
Yeezy Season
lost
10
that?
was already in the works. And like you just like, yeah, let's do it now or something.
Yeah.
Had the energy?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's kind of like Yeezy's timeline where everything comes at the same time because people are saying like, oh, he might drop Yeezus 2 sometime soon too.
Yeah. What did you say? People he was playing Yeezus too, or he's
He was
playing
playing a
Yeezus at the
regular Yeezus, yeah.
yeah.
So people are like, oh, Yeezus 2 might be coming out soon because of that.
Hmm. 'Cause
If you go back to that era, a lot of people would really like that. I think
100%.
the rough style.
since I wasn't like around for like any of the previous Yeezy seasons, does he normally release an album that goes along with the season?
Not
Not like one
necessarily.
album for each season, but it's like
Yeah.
he usually does a lot of things like together, like
Okay.
fashion show. Yeah.
Yeah. The easiest way I think of Kanye is like, have you seen the Marvel show? Was it Loki?
Yes.
Okay, so spoiler alert, if anybody's listening to this and has not seen that movie, I'm about to spoil the ending. If you did not click away, you have 3 seconds. I really like that show, so I'm giving
I
them the
know.
time.
I
All
like
right.
it too.
Okay, so if you're still here, okay, so the end of the show, right? You have this stream of timeline, right? It's one big circle.
Hmm.
I think of that as essentially Kanye. It's just one stream of consciousness, except it just changes colors essentially all throughout the circle. And as his moods and stuff changes, you'll see the points of like where all the albums and each of the fashion shows and everything come out, and it kind of like bounces off each other.
Mm.
So like Monster, right? Super energetic song and stuff, and like when that came out, that was with what is it? My Beautiful Dark Twisted, I
Dark
think,
Twisted Fan.
right? Yeah. So that was like the super high energy, right? I think they were all in Hawaii, right? They were all like fucking having a great time. Um, yeah, they were blasting it out there. So like, I mean, I think that, and then later on, once he got to what was it, Famous, and then he did like the big art show for Life of Pablo. That's when he really started diving heavy into like the Yeezy season stuff, and he started really
Gotcha.
going like full artsy, right? The Pablos, and everything like that. Yeah, that's kind of how I watch it. And then obviously, what happened in like the last 2 years of basically going downhill, but bouncing off, and then when you're on a emotional level, it's powerful for what you can do, but it's also destructive to say the least. But he
Getting
does
back to the
he does look like
shoe.
he's doing good.
Uh,
Which shoe?
so
The scuba shoe?
the scuba shoe. How much do you think it would retail for? And do you think people would actually like sell it out and flip it?
Yes, it would sell for like $200.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, because like he was kind of on that thing where like all his clothes he wanted to sell for like $20 or something for a while, like while the Gap stuff was happening.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Gap.
So do you think he's still on that mindset? Or he's been like, nah, let's just make whatever and sell at whatever price point to make money.
Yeah, kind of. Some of it, I think, like some of the shoes, I feel like he tries to design, and then like it's just not either marketable, or it's not like something like those scuba shoe things. I don't think that's something like people are really going to put in a lot of the money to develop, because like that's kind of the equivalent of like a shoe that I feel like you could regularly get at like Walmart or something, right? You know those toe scuba shoes?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what I think about with those. I feel like in the entire Yeezy shoe ecosystem, there are certain shoes that like can be charged up to like make other shoes become, or take, losses on other shoes. Like foam runners are the more premium croc, but then like, sell the sock ones at a discount or something, right? Or like at $50 or something like that, just a little bit under the foam runners. Yeah, I think that's the only way that I guess something like that would really take off. I can't imagine if he sells that at like, $100 or 180 or something. I can't imagine people are going to be going out and buying that a lot. Like it might sell out the first time, but just like those the knit runners, right? The yellow ones, the brown ones, I don't think any of those are doing very well. Might have to
Yeah, so
check
it'll
that
be
on
interesting to
StockX,
see.
but
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how these sock boots do, as well as like the Fear of God ones that are kind of similar.
how much do you think the Fear of God ones would cost retail?
I feel like 175, 180 at least.
Really?
I was thinking at least 250.
Yeah, it might be more because
Jeez.
of Fear God
Yeah.
pricing.
Well, especially because the Nike one was 350 or something.
Well,
But that
no,
was like leathers and
Yeah. But I'm saying
structure and
I'm just
stuff.
saying like the range of like
Yeah,
how much they've charged for
man.
because
things.
Fear
If
God
they get
Converse
anything
was
north of 250,
110
that's
retail.
absurd.
Yeah.
Which one was?
The Fear God Converse,
Was how much?
Oh,
110. Do you remember he did
oh,
those?
yeah.
Oh.
Those were chunky, weren't they?
No. They were just regular Converse, basically. They
Yeah,
had
with
like
the
a
Fear of
leather
God.
tongue instead and a
Yeah.
longer lace that would like wrap around, and that was it.
Yeah, I remember those. That was
Oh,
I
110,
still have a
really?
pair sitting in my closet.
what?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you not remember these?
I don't think I remember this one.
They weren't that hype.
Okay, yes.
They didn't have that much hype to them, but it was like a
What year
thing.
did that come out?
2020
They like the first one
apparently.
dropped like 2018, 2019, and these were 2020.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I think I was thinking of the other one. This one,
Um,
I like the color though on this one. Is this
yeah,
the 2020 one?
Yeah, that was
yeah.
2020.
Oh, I like the color on that one a lot. It's like a nice soft brown.
It's a gray.
Oh, it's a gray.
Yeah, it's a gray.
Man, it looks
Yeah.
brown though.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Jerry would drop a brown one.
Wear it
It's
twice. It's brown after that, I'm sure.
yeah. I mean, brown is within his color palette, so
Yeah. That's the other thing I don't like about Fear of God is like I think that they have an even smaller color palette than Kanye did when he was releasing only Earth shoes. And there was like a period where we got like straight, nine or
yeah.
8 or 9 shoes, just Earth, brown, dark Earth, rock, granite.
Light light
It
earth.
was it was everything like Earth, brown, something. And it was
Something
like, all
rock
right,
related.
yeah, can we stop? Like, we get it, but
Yeah.
we don't need like all of these different shades of like the same shoe.
To come to Jerry's defense, like with essentials, he does drop some like more colorful stuff, like as yellows, blues, and stuff.
Yeah, now I think that they've started spreading out a lot more. But it's like whenever I see it, I guess by most people, it's always like the brown colors and stuff. Like that was, I
Yeah,
think that was the initial ones, right?
Yeah.
Were probably primarily like that. So that's probably why. But I guess going along with Kanye, obviously he's doing his own thing, trying to set up Easy Season 10, but it looks like he hasn't left the rest of Adidas, picking up all the pieces because now all the investors are pointing the finger back at Adidas and saying that it's their mess to pick up. And they are apparently suing Adidas. The actual investors are. I think right now it's only two of them. I don't know if others are joining in, but it's two specifically, I think, that were named in the suit. And they're saying that Adidas failed to disclose risks in 2018, and they kept accepting Kanye shipments, in late 2022, even though they knew, the partnership was probably going to end. So what do you guys think about that?
I feel like the investors like weren't completely blind in this too. Like,
Could you not tell?
yeah, how could you not tell? Like, Kanye's been like all over the news. It's like you, as an investor,
exactly.
you should be doing your due diligence as well as of who the company that you're investing in partners with.
Yeah, and like the Kanye partnership has started in like 2014, 2015, right?
Yeah,
It's been a
2014,
So it's
while.
2015.
like
2015,
they
I think
should
we
have,
got the first picture of the 750, so it might have been like right before
yeah.
that.
So it's like you should have like seen that, like, okay, he's done all this crazy stuff before. Like 2016, he was definitely doing a lot of crazy stuff. But, like, you should have already like seen this coming.
Yeah.
And like accepting shipments, I don't know like what they were gonna do with the shipments other than be like, hey, put it back to the factory.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. I was like, yo, if they're ordering production to be done, like at least 3 to 4 months in advance of all of this. So like, all of these shoes, like one of the other shoes that I had posted in House of Cards and stuff was like the 700 V3 or V4, whatever you want to call it, but it was all
Mhm.
made of foam, like a foam runner,
Mhm.
and it had like the sock inside and stuff. And that was made in like July of 2022, and that probably would have released in December of that year.
Right.
But it never came out. Um, so I in like the 500s, right, that we talked about last week. If you didn't hear about those, go check out last week's episode. But the 500 high tactical boot also has been getting passed around, and all stuff like that. Those are all probably could have come out. And like I'm just so confused at what they're doing with it or how all the stuff is getting out. Like you know, or if Adidas isn't doing this, is this like some employee that's doing it, or what's going on? I guess. And I don't know if you guys know about this, but I think is 2018 when Kanye said the whole slavery was a choice thing. Is that what they're referring to?
It seems like around that time.
There was, I think that like if that was the time, there was
It
some point
was
where go ahead. Was that
it
it?
was 2018. I just
Yeah.
googled
Okay.
it. Yeah.
So it might have yeah, right around then. I don't know if it'll be near that. But Adidas made a statement saying, because like everybody was wondering like, oh, is Kanye going to get dropped because of what he's saying, right? They thought
Mhm.
at the time, right? This is so horrible. You can't say anything worse than that. Oh, you thought. Um,
You
but
thought.
I think Adidas made a public statement and said like, we understand, partnering with people has its ups and downs. We're continuing to work through and establish some like whatever, some PR statement. But like they basically tried to like masquerade and handle it like, like, hey, we know he's a little crazy, but like we kind of need him to get this bread, so relax.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I mean, I don't understand how they wouldn't have known. It seemed like it
Wasn't
was pretty well known.
wasn't the first time, wasn't the last time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
Exactly.
This is the person that was on TV and said George Bush doesn't care about black people,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
then they're really expecting this to be any kind of other way.
Yeah. Well, gotta do
But
your due diligence as an investor,
yeah,
regardless.
no kidding. Especially if you're investing that kind of money,
Yeah,
right? The money that you're money enough that you're willing to sue over. So,
exactly.
um, but yeah, going on what I was just talking about for those Yeezys getting them kind of backdoored. Um, Brandon One N on Twitter was posting a screenshot off of StockX about the wheat lemon drop Nike Air Max ones. And for refresher for anybody that was a little unfamiliar about that, the Air Max Travis Scotts came in 3 colorways. There was a brown, Baroque
Baroque
brown,
brown.
the wheat
Mhm.
lemon. What was the other one?
The Saturn yellow.
Oh, Saturn yellow. Yeah. And the Saturn yellow was like a all yellow.
Yeah,
The
the P
wheat is a
colorway.
yeah, the P colorway. Definitely I think the least favorite.
Mhm.
The wheat lemon kind of was the initial favorite, and then the brown was like very close second. Brown is pretty much taking first place now.
Yep.
I love my pair. Um, and this wheat lemon pair, the pair that was a Cactus Jack, a website exclusive, which we all know, and if you're listening, you're probably also well aware how terrible the website is. How could this shoe that was like this was going for like $900, wasn't it? I think it was like seven
No,
hundred,
it
eight
was
hundred
like
dollars.
more than that. It was in the 1,000 range.
Oh my god! And it just, I mean, $300 right now.
Yeah, 80% off. You should buy now.
Imagine
This is
anyone
less.
buying for over a grand.
Yeah,
Like
This is
right?
being
less
like,
than what
oh,
I paid for the brown pair for resale. I mean, that's
That's
crazy.
that's crazy, actually.
I paid 350 for my for the brown pair. So like, I mean,
Yeah,
that
in October or September and October of 2022, 1,300,
is,
1,000,
oh my god,
15, 1,600 in August was I think the peak. Yeah, it was 1666.
rolling in their grave.
Oh man.
That is horrible.
Good. Good night.
But one of the things at the bottom that he did on this was he tagged one of the other big plugs, Whorehead, and he was asking about, if he had any other insight about what happened. And Whorehead was also kind of confirming something that we had thought about and we'd talked about before, which is, back doors basically from the Travis warehouse.
Mhm.
Except this one is a little bit different with some other stuff that is connected to some recent news. And obviously, when ZadehKicks got busted, the first thing that they're going to do is go through all his cash, go through any assets and stuff that he's got left. And we saw some of them get listed on eBay and they started selling some of the shoes.
Mhm.
Um, but now it looks like, what if ZadehKicks had a deal with the Travis Scott staff to backdoor shoes straight from Travis Scott himself? What if he Marcus Jordan to every single raffle on his website? I mean, that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure
That's
he had
literally
some
what it
access to
is.
stock, but like he had more connections than just Travis. So I'm assuming like it was like someone in a Nike warehouse.
Distribution that had it. It
Probably.
could
Yeah.
be. I mean, yeah.
Because he
So like,
wasn't just a
obviously,
Travis Scott special. He was like
yeah. I
anything.
mean, he had the Nike distribution on lock, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's where he was getting most of his stuff from.
Hence the all those cool gray 11s.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I mean, specifically this, he probably did have a Travis plug, and it's like,
Oh,
oh,
100%.
now they're liquidating all these pairs and putting it to market. Like the people who are having to deal with his assets.
Yeah.
yeah. And I think what was it? We saw something similar happen with the Travis One Low fragments because I had my pair and then I also had the extra pair.
Mhm.
And I was trying to move the extra pair and I was trying to get like near 1700 for it. And they got kind of close to that and then prices just fell. And they just fell hard and they all kind of, at least for my size and stuff, went all the way down to like 1300 ish. And they just never moved up from there. I think they're still about there right now. And they just don't move. And I think a part of it was there was a warehouse by somebody, obviously, that had a lot of pairs in them, and I think they started to liquidate them. and they just started selling them off through StockX and everything like that, and prices just started tanking really fast. They didn't go like under 1,000 and stuff like that, but they definitely got pretty low for being a Travis fragment. Considering the one highs, I think go for like $4,000 still.
Those were really limited, weren't they?
Yeah, those were. I mean, those were insanely limited. I can't even tell you where they dropped at. I think it was
The
like 2
website.
in stores. Yeah, 2 in store places and like the website. So StockX. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say the highs are around middle $2,000 right now.
Which high?
The fragment Travis highs.
Oh, wow, they're $2,000.
Yeah, middle.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow,
middle
that's
and.
they went down. They used to sell for 3,500.
Yeah, a lot
That's
of
Uh-oh.
crazy.
Travises are low key on
Yikes.
discount right now.
Yikes.
Whoever still wants
The
Travises.
fragment lows are in the mid-1,000 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for those
What's
SB
that?
Dunks to go below $1,000, and then maybe I'll cop.
Oh.
The SB
Well,
Dunks were like that was one Travis shoe that like and that release was I mean like I that was one the first release for me that I was international and in the US like during the release so I could watch it like move from like Europe to the US and I never saw that shoe release for retail. Like every place
oh,
was
okay.
just like instantly like minimum $1,000. Like
Oh yeah,
everybody had bought out every store in Europe pretty much. They weren't
Oh,
raffling it off anymore. Like
easy peasy, right?
why was I gonna raffle this random rapper's SB when
Hmm.
this kid is gonna give me $10,000 for 10 shoes?
Right,
Right?
yeah.
Like
exactly.
you'd be a fool not to take it. They were going
Yep.
for like $1,800 or something, I think, like straight out the gate early. And then
Yeah.
I think they were like 1,500 ish. I don't think they ever went under $1,000. What are they at right now, Kyle? Did you have them up?
Yeah. One second. I
It's
was
like
just looking at olive
1,300,
prices.
1,400. I want to say.
Yeah. Same. They're like roughly the same price as like fragment lows.
Oh, really? Wow,
Yeah.
they've kind of gone down then.
Yeah. I was just watching the price of olives continue to drop.
Yeah, I kind of hope they keep going.
Yeah. At this
Yeah,
rate, they might be
those,
below Phantoms.
yeah, I don't know
Yes.
about that one. Phantoms will probably stay the bottom one.
It will,
I don't
but
think olives are
we'll
good than
see.
that.
We'll see.
Ooh, actually, I might cop olives for the toe because their prices are going down.
Yeah.
I was gonna try to trade a Tiffany or not Tiffany, a Kobe for them, but
Look
Did
what
not hit.
happened.
yeah, I didn't know they'd only release 5 pairs of Kobe's.
Hey
Kind
man,
of
Lamar
screwed
said
me on my
40K
plan.
stock.
Yeah, that's what Twitter said, man. I thought they were right.
I mean,
Um,
olives right now are just like 150 above Phantoms.
yeah, it's going down,
It
and
is
that's not
going
even sneakers
down.
pairs in yet.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, it's gonna get close. But yes, I would 100% take olives over Phantoms if it gets that low.
Yeah, I will say that what was it Elliot Page, I think that's his name,
Hmm.
um on YouTube,
Yeah, yeah.
um who he I think he's in like the UK and he makes sneaker videos. He has the olives and he had the reverse mochas and he
Yeah,
made a video about them and he
what's the
said like the
quality?
reverse mochas, yeah, I don't even know if it's a quality thing because somebody on Twitter and other people say like tumbled leather doesn't mean it's good, but
Right.
the reverse mochas was tumbled and softer
Yeah.
versus like yeah the olive like it was stiffer and like you had to break it in, it wasn't tumbled or anything. So I'm hesitant almost if I should just try to wait and go for the reverse mochas now.
Well, did olives have more stock than reverse mochas?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
olive should be the most stocked low,
Yep. It was
which
Yeah.
is
olive.
surprising. I really think that Phantoms like somewhere are sitting in like the warehouse with like a whole bunch more stock, but as
Jordan
of right
Reserve
now,
coming soon.
yeah, Travis restock. Yeah,
Oh
I
my
don't know.
god.
The first
It
time for
would
a Travis.
it would be worse than the lost and found restock.
Yeah, what a slaughter fest. I mean, it would be so bad. Yeah, that was terrible.
Yep.
But yeah, ending out the ZadehKicks, I guess, conversation. some of the other things that, and I don't think this is actually ZadehKicks. So this is some other mystery warehouse person. More Yeezy samples are coming out. This one's a real wild one. This is the what are they calling it? The Foam Runner V2 MX Red Black, and it's basically a black with like a orange flame almost color on it. What do you guys think about this? The colorway and the new model, the V2.
Okay, first things first. When you sent me that photo, I thought it was like flaming hot Cheetos on the floor because I
On
looked
the
at it
off-white
really.
rug.
Yeah, I looked at it really fast because I was doing something and I saw, and I was just like, "Why are there flaming hot Cheetos, and why are you showing this to me?"
They are almost like the exact color of that.
Yeah, that's why I was really
Yeah.
confused. Um, Color-wise, like after looking at it, it's very different from any of the other ones that he's done for the ones that we all got, the ones that were
Mhm.
actually released to public. So I think like going back off what we were talking about with like Fear of God and like how Yeezy was like on a earth tone kick. Seeing stuff like this is just like cool. He knows about color and can do like really bold things with them that could, be very polarizing to the mass public. So I thought it was just cool that there's something new that they were doing with like the MX line or style, I guess.
Yeah, rather than just release monotone
Yeah.
colors or yeah, monochrome with a
Yeah, that
so
MX Carbon, I think that was like one of the last
oh
colorways
yeah,
that we
the
got.
pink and yellow one.
Yeah,
That
with the
one was good
purple.
too.
That one was
Yeah,
cool. Like I
I
liked
like that
seeing
one.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that was
really
the
like this
first like
colorway.
massive one.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about all the holes and stuff though of the new one? Azim, you like this V2 or would you still take a V1?
I mean, I think I like the V1 more, but this one's not that bad. It's not like a crazy change like the 350 V2 versus a 350 V2 compact.
Mm.
Oh yeah, that was a huge change. This one, there was that picture of like a museum that had like those really old shoes in them that had like all the holes and stuff in it. Do you remember that picture? And it was like a meme, and
Oh.
they're like Kanye shoes
Oh yeah,
found like
yeah, I remember
1,000 years
this.
ago. That's what
Yeah.
these look like. Like it's the same thing with all the holes and stuff in it. That's where he got this idea from. I'm pretty sure. And then he
Really?
made them into like mold. I'm like 80% sure that's like where this came from. I could find the picture like later, but like I'm pretty sure that's where it came from. Which it's kind of cool to see. This is like the more finalized design. If this is what it was going to come out to, I think this looks good. I definitely would have. I still like the original one better,
Mhm.
but this is cool. I mean, I like that they're again, trying new things.
Yeah. I wonder if
Um,
they feel as comfortable as the V1s.
oh
So
yeah,
I
if
have
they
one
put
on right
any extra
now.
padding or anything.
Yeah.
It looks like the bottoms on this are a little different because this one has just all slits and stuff in it.
Mhm.
And let me grab my here. What's on the bottom of this? Yeah, because on the bottom of my foam, it has like just a couple circles and stuff in it. So they
Oh.
changed the entire bottom of it.
Yeah, I wonder how that feels like on your foot, like as you're walking, like if that makes it more comfortable or not.
Yeah. Let's see.
Do you think
They,
the Yeezy models that we're seeing now, the samples, would have been as hyped if like Kanye and Yeezy or Kanye and Adidas were still together?
the foam runner one, yes. The 700s, no.
Yeah, because I feel like we're looking at a lot of the leaks and being like, dang, I wish this came out. Like some of them at least. Like the
Yeah.
550 high boot too.
But we know now
Oh,
they're not going to.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would like the 500 tactical boot. I think that would do well in like a first release, but if that kept going, I think it wouldn't come out like
Yeah.
well.
I think it
Kind
would
of like
bring
the
back
500 highs.
some. Yeah, I was gonna say it might bring back some like popularity to the 500 highs just to see like a sub category. I don't know if category is the right word
Yeah.
for it. Yeah,
An
but you know what I
alternate.
mean. Alternate, yeah, to it.
Yeah. There's basically just different versions of like every shoe,
Yeah.
which is what makes it so difficult sometimes, right? Especially
Sometimes a
with the
little too
700s.
much.
Yeah, because 700, the 700 minivan, the 700 V2, 700 V3, 700 foam,
Right.
you know, everything.
Hey, if it
Um,
works, don't fix it.
I guess.
But
Speaking of it,
but
here's
did
the
it work?
700 V3 foam. I don't know. I kind of like it. It kind of looks like a worse version of the original.
Yeah. I
Yes.
don't like the stitching inside where it's like between the white and black area, and I'm like, it looks
Oh,
like it's
That
kind
might
of
just be
inside
because it's
out.
a sample, but
Yeah.
oh, so this is a test sample. Oh, okay. So yeah, so this is probably one that they were actually wearing.
just to see
Yeah, because
how.
like the inside is unfinished and stuff.
Hmm.
It's not bad.
Um,
It's like I would like to see more color.
yeah, definitely with a lot of these foam kind of shoes. Oh, and the bottom on this is a little different, I think, or maybe it just doesn't have the colored pods underneath. I think it's a
Do
little
you
different.
do you have one to compare?
Yeah, I've got my Azales somewhere here. I don't know actually. There's some. Oh yeah, they are. Um, they are. Oh yeah, I think it's actually the same.
Hmm.
The pattern is different. Oh yeah, wow, yeah, the bottom of it, the pattern is really different. So the pattern on the retail one is kind of just a single herringbone that's just cut into like almost a puzzle piece looking as shape. And then obviously this one is way more texturized. Um,
So more grip on this one?
yeah, but this one's also foam, so it's probably when
Oh,
you
true.
put pressure on it, it's probably needed, right? So it would kind of grip it like a fingerprint is kind of my guess.
Hmm.
That would be my only engineering-ish kind of answer on how that would work, is that you have more grooves in it, so when your pressure is on it, it kind of grips a little bit better.
Yeah.
Um, that was one thing with the regular foams that I did have a little bit of an issue with, was like I felt that the bottoms could almost be too smooth. So then like if you walked on like pavement and then you walked somewhere else, like you could end up slipping because like you could have just worn off the bottom part. But man, that those sample Yeezy foam runners we just looked at, those are going for a chill $6,000. I can't imagine any of us would go for those.
No.
These 700 V3s are chilling at $1,200. Would you even pick these up at retail? What are these, like 180 or 200? I think they're
These
200.
were V3s. I think were two something.
Yeah, I don't think I would cop
Is
for
it 260?
retail.
No, yeah.
No, I
Two
think
Versus like a
hundred.
foam runner, yeah, I think I'd go with a regular foam runner.
Yeah.
Would you cop if it was in a different color?
Probably not.
No,
I'd still wait till it's like below retail on StockX.
really. Okay. That's just a power that we all have now, and like I kind of hope Nike kind of gets rid of it just a little bit. They're gonna it's get rid of them and do that.
Something interesting, are all these samples for Yeezy like size 13?
The two that have come
These
out
two
so
are
far are size 13s, yeah. And this guy specifically also has another foam runner sample that is also a size 13, but it's an Onyx. So this one actually came out.
Mm, yeah.
But this one is also a test sample pair. But I don't actually see any noticeable differences in this pair.
Looks like a retail pair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe just a
exactly.
slight shade difference, but that's it.
Gotcha.
Um, but some other ones that we've got, like the I think that the 1050s, I don't know if they're Kanye's or if they're ASAP Bari's, but Chase C Ghosts on Instagram, he's got one of their pairs, so that's one of their sizes. And then somebody also has the original 1050 duck boot that has the pink camo on it. That is in Kanye size. It's like a 10 and a half. I think there's only one pair in the world.
Wow.
And it is Kanye's pair that somebody got a hold of and got rid of. And by got rid of, I mean sold for exorbitant amounts of money. Speaking of exorbitant amounts of money, one of the more, I mean, it's funny for us, obviously not for them, but Um, one of the more interesting things that have now come out, stock or not StockX, sorry, ZadehKicks, obviously, doing things through StockX, doing things through their Nike distributor and everybody else, even though it was a Ponzi scheme, essentially, they did have, like, for a while, an actual system going where people were making money before it got, this bad. Um, and when people, when it was a little smaller and, you had all these plugs and everybody that were making money, there was a lot of people funding stores and doing these huge deals and moving stuff. However, in the current lawsuit, 8 people, I believe, have been deemed net winners, if I'm correct. Yes, net winners, which meaning that they have received more money than was originally paid in, meaning that they actually profited off of. And they're pretty good about it because they have the company's name and they said that you received this amount of dollars. And obviously, the thing that was the documents that were shared have kind of been censored out a little bit. But people kind of went looking through it, and I mean, it looks like it's just about 900 something thousand dollars. So it's kind of crazy that, for one, people were doing this, making that kind of much money, and now two, these people are being forced to fucking pay this stuff back to people. I mean, like, how could either of you guys do that? Could you, if your
Nope.
business pops up, is like, you got 900 grand, you have, I don't even know how long they have.
Nope.
You
That
like,
I'm a dip.
yeah, that's
That's
it. You're just bankrupt right on the
yeah,
spot.
it's
Yeah.
just gone. Because it's like, if you're using that money to like start your business, it's just you just it's not like you're keeping 900 like on the side just in case, right?
Yeah, not to mention that most of these guys probably have been taking, harder times this year and the past 6 months,
Yeah.
with how hard sneakers have kind of been going down just a little bit in terms of resale.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that like some of these like people who are gonna get hit with the clawbacks are like consignment stores and be like, how many
Mhm.
of them are gonna close now if hypothetically
Yeah,
more people get hit with this?
and they were
Yeah.
already closing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's wild.
And I don't think this one says which company it was or anything. I'm sure we could find it somewhere, but yeah, and I think it is only 8 people that they actually deem to do this. So if this guy is getting just under $1 million, we don't really know if he's the lowest guy, the biggest guy, or the middle. I imagine if he was willing to share, he might be the smaller end. Uh, yeah, that could be a real bad
Yeah.
day for any store that has like 5 million that or something that they got to pay back.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
curious like what the timeline for when it's
Yeah,
due back.
they didn't really they didn't really point that out. At least, I mean, this is only like one page of the whole document, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it didn't. I don't think it said it in there. Yeah, I'm looking through it again real fast. It just says that they've been identified. So I'm sure that they'll probably give them like a year or more or something to try to work out, how
Yeah.
they're going to get this paid back. Plus, there's probably an even longer payment thing that'll be going on afterwards.
Would it
Yeah.
even be worth it, or just to be better, just go bankrupt and restart?
I mean, you could try but I mean, like, I guess they're going to take all of your assets. So if it's just a business, it's not too bad, I guess. Like, obviously the business goes bankrupt, you'd lose all of your assets connected to the business. But then starting back up as a business is going to be really tough, getting loans and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, that'd be your
Hopefully
big
they have like
con.
personal money aside just for like.
Yeah, as long as your personal thing is separated and they can't go after it, then it would be all right. But like, knowing how half of the sneakerheads are, if you've
Senior
got your
kids.
stuff mixed in,
Yeah.
yeah,
Big
you're going to be
yikes.
prepared that it's going to be hard to defend it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely going to be interesting. We'll probably be hearing about this for quite a while, but we probably won't hear about actual paybacks for quite a while.
Yep.
Um, generally, because this takes so long. All right, and I think now the last kind of thing that we had on today's thing to talk about, which also has to do with ZadehKicks because if you didn't already know, ZadehKicks was ended up kind of being found on StockX as like one of the top portfolios on the StockX platform.
Hmm.
I can't remember who it was, but somebody found him and posted on Twitter, and he had like crazy amounts of like money and stuff and trades that he was doing. So definitely, like any inventory he probably couldn't secure himself. He was just buying, secondhand to fill pre-orders for stuff that he was already getting paid for, other shoes and stuff like that. But recently we've had this whole thing talking about the Nike and StockX lawsuit and going back and forth about some Jordan 1s that were fake that a reseller bought off StockX. Well, now, let me see if they've got his name somewhere in here. Sneaker Strut, I think that is his name. It looks like he's actually shared pictures now of the fake Jordan 1s. And this is the Soul Retriever article. I'm sure there's a couple other ones that are also there. But, it shows his check results. Wow, I mean, it looked like 620. Okay, yeah, so 628, 628, 628. All of these are all on the 28th of June of 2022. And I mean, these are mochas,
Hyper
turbo
Royals,
blues.
UNC.
Yeah, UNC blues. Those are Royals, right? Hyper Royals?
Hyper Royals, yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. I mean, like they're all fakes. And let's also put an asterisk and take a thing that we don't always know if the legit check app or check app
Hmm.
is necessarily checking it legit too. They
Right.
could also have their own determination, but I will say that it does make it very difficult for a place that only judges on pictures to do it as well for a place that's got them in hand. Obviously, if StockX is messing it up and they've got it in hand, then they've got a really big problem on their hand. Oh yeah, he said he got at least 38 pairs of fake Jordan 1s, it looks like.
Oof.
Jeez.
Yeah. And even Nike says they're fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so they checked on the legit check app and the check app. Yeah, because here's screenshots from that. So here's UNC's, Mochas, Hyper Royals, all failed. And
What a
this
bad
is
day for
June
him.
13th, June
Oh,
13th,
that'd be a
June
horrible
28th.
day.
So
Considering
so
how
he
much you
checked
can
them on
pay.
here. Oh my goodness. And look, these are all less than 30 minutes. So he's paying for express checks. So
Jeez.
he got all of these checked. They all failed. And then within like half a month, he goes back and gets them all checked in another app. They all still fail again.
Yeah. That's just
And
really
I
bad.
wonder if he contacted StockX and they tried to deny something, and then
Yeah.
he went back to double check them and got it again. Because really, this is like the only two things you can get outside of sending it somewhere, right?
Right. Or getting someone to do it in person, right? Like a local shop or something.
Yeah, taking it in somewhere. Yeah, but even then, I mean, I don't even know if some of the stores like to do them. I mean, like big stores, yeah, my local stores, they don't really like to do it because they think people will come in and, try to like bring fakes to them and get things by them. So they just don't really, try to do it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, in a small area like that, like I get it,
Yeah.
but also, what's going on from this, I guess, and what's kind of making this very interesting is um, StockX is kind of being forced to hand over all, I guess, documentation related to these Jordan 1s, and I don't really know what that contains, but I would assume it has to contain anything relating to um, how they check these shoes or maybe their guides to checking these shoes. What do you guys think might be in that? I mean, what documentation would they have on these shoes? What if they just bring like an empty file?
We
Yeah.
actually don't have a guide.
Yeah. We actually had nothing. We were just guessing the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
Surprise! Now that would be the craziest surprise, honestly. um, oh, probably
I mean,
something like
they
that.
have to have at
Just
least like pictures of the shoes. Be like, oh, here's like a
yeah,
fake Jordan 1.
Yeah,
Like a
yeah,
binder with it. That was my guess. Was
Yeah.
it's like a binder with like pictures of everything.
yeah. But I feel like because obviously they haven't contacted Nike about like what's a real shoe, what's not a real shoe. Otherwise, we wouldn't
Yeah.
be in this mess right now. So it's probably like you said before. It's probably like an employee or a legit checkers like has experiences of what they've noticed throughout all these years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. But I feel like a lot of the legit checkers weren't like had a big history of doing this. It was just like, oh, StockX is hiring. Let me apply
Yeah,
for a
yeah, yeah.
job.
I'm saying like the head guy, maybe,
Oh yeah.
like it's probably something that they wrote down in this mystical binder that we've kind of assumed they have.
Yeah.
I kind of think it's more of like a pretty scrapbook.
Oh, I mean, probably.
Yeah. I kind of think about it, and it's like, okay, would they really have like a room just full of like hundreds of books and like one for each shoe, or would they do it like a Jordan 1 book and like a Yeezy 350 book, like a model kind of thing?
Well, yeah, probably model by model, but I'm sure it's like only a few pages per shoe.
Yeah, because I feel like
Yeah, because
for the most part, they kind of fall within
all
the
the
same
same,
like kind
right?
of parameters, right? Yeah.
Yeah, as long as it's the same model, yeah, it should be relatively the same. Um, yeah, it doesn't really change, I guess, unless it's something like really different or like a collab or something like that.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be a little interesting. Obviously, the judge is trying to ask Nike to make sure that they turn over and tell, how'd you know these shoes are fake?
Mm-hmm.
And now StockX has to also turn over and say, all the documentation that they had trying to prove that these are real. So it's either going to get into a really big headbutt match, or I think Kyle, what you mentioned earlier was like they try to seal it right in discovery,
Yeah.
um, and block
Make
it
sure it
from
doesn't
getting
leak
out.
it.
So disappointing. I hope they don't.
Hey, we'll
I
find
want to
out.
read it all. Um,
But then
yeah,
the fakes are going to be even harder to like figure out which ones are real and fake.
yeah, that's going to be the other problem. Is like, what if StockX like gives away like all the perfect secrets for like how to check Jordan 1s, and like then every rep after this now
It's
becomes
gonna
like
be
a
like,
perfect.
yep.
And
They're
I
just gonna
don't.
make a
I guess
new
if
Jordan 1 like variation.
yeah, they did. They've tried. No, they don't sell the comforts and everything like that.
I mean, like you know how like they updated from like around 2015 ish, like how the Jordan 1 looked. Maybe they'll just do it
Oh,
again.
yeah, the shape updates.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good,
I
right?
don't.
I mean, it's within the
It's been a while, so they could, yeah.
yeah, just to they throw it back to the 85 cut.
I was about to say they're just about to regrow it back into the 85 is essentially what's going to happen. It's going to be taller, stiffer, and worse. Oh, lovely. And more expensive.
Oh god. And you can get your pair for $120 on StockX 1 week beforehand.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. 65% off early. I like it.
But the colorways are still going to be worse.
Yeah. After
Yeah.
the first one. The first one is okay. And then after that, it just goes downhill.
Yep.
It's always how it tends to be. I don't know why they do that.
They try to reel you in and then they let you down.
Then after that, they're just like, all right, well, you'll figure out something. Find something you like.
Just give us your money anyways.
Yeah. But I can't imagine that this is going to come out with anything soon. So we probably won't have any big updates for maybe another month or so
Yeah.
until all this information and stuff comes out. So hopefully, hopefully by the end of May and in June, we'll have some new updates, and we'll be able to get some new ideas on maybe how they're legit checking some of these shoes. But I think that's everything that we've got today. So again, thank you if you've listened this far. Don't forget to rate the episode, subscribe if you're listening on YouTube or Apple Music, Apple Podcast, or Spotify. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.